So thanks for taking the time with us here
Happy
today.
to. That's great. Yeah, happy to.
How'd you get connected with the Furniture Hall of Fame?
Well, I had actually had a rocker out at one time with Phil Bell and Bell Furniture out of Cincinnati, and then I happened to meet Michael Amini at a charity event in Greensboro, and I got to tell you, it was uh, it was very interesting because they placed me at this table. They seat me at this table, and this little guy comes up and he's got on, I think a green sport coat and a purple vest and a bow tie and everything else. And I thought this is going to be the most boring night of my life. And we absolutely had a ball. We just absolutely talked about everything. He's such an interesting man. He didn't talk about his exploits or anything else. We just had a good old time, and we just did it. And we became associated. We chatted from every now and then, and actually has invited me up to lunch. I still haven't been up to LA to be there, but I was looking for a dining room table, and he assisted me in helping with that, and finding a furniture dealer down here in Jupiter in West Palm. And then I want you to do me a favor, Johnny. It's like, so I said, what's that? And it became, an interesting thing. It actually works well with my travel, and it's a heck of an event. Actually, it looked like it's a heck of an event. So, a new thing in my life, and if I've got a bucket list, if I had it on my list, I can check it off.
There you go. Now, I hear you coming to market a little bit early. You're going to walk around a little bit?
I'm going to get there in time to look around. Michael's a pretty good, escort. He'd be able to take me some places and everything else. I love creativeness, and I think it's just terrific to be able to go in and see stuff and just to kick the tires. I mean, you're always looking for new things and new ideas and new experiences, and the experience part of it is what I'm really looking for.
Well, his showroom in and of itself is an experience. When you step off the elevators, you're going to think that you stepped into a Roman piazza, complete with large fountains and espresso machines. Oh yeah, it's stunningly beautiful.
Well, he's arrived in High Point. He just landed. He just called me a minute ago, and he said, "Are we going to work this out?" And I said, "Yeah, we will work it out. I will call Bill, and we will make this work." So I just said I'd try to call him now.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. So tell me, like, what is your earliest memory of furniture? Did you go shopping with your folks as a kid for furniture? Did you have a local furniture store that you remember?
I grew up in a town of 661 people. My first experience with the furniture was I made my own bookcase in shop class. So I was about 13, 14, 15 years old, and I made my own bookcase made out of cedar. And my mom and dad kept that forever, and it was still, one of those things. I'm into sort of rustic. I'm into rustic and nice big comfort stuff. I don't like low couches because as you get older, it's harder, and you've been catching for all these years. It's harder to get in and out of them. And I think the one thing that I really enjoyed the most was buying an old workbench, and the old workbench was perfect. It had it had the vise, it had the deal, it had the whole thing all made out of wood, and but it was just sort of me. It was just sort of my heritage to a large extent. But I like warmth, I like structure, I like size, I like something that when people come in, uh, that they can immediately sit down, or it's not like something is like, has anybody ever sat in that living room over there? I don't think anybody's ever sat there. So I'm not for dainty. I've got young boys, so I want them to be able to jump around on the furniture as needed.
How many boys?
I have three boys, 26, 7, and 10.
Well, that's quite a span.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the light of my life and the joy of my life. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, I have a 27-year-old myself, and he's just gotten to the point where I'm not quite so dumb anymore. I've gotten a little bit smarter, and
So that's the age. Yeah, well, next year, in a couple of months, my son's going to think the same thing, hopefully.
so where do you shop for furniture now?
I actually, the house that I bought when I was out in Palm Springs, we were getting ready to have our 10-year-old son. And I went to Mathis Brothers out in Palm Springs in Indio. And we were buying this house, and Justin was going to be born on the 1st of April. We knew that. And so I went into Mathis Brothers with my wife at the time, and I picked out the entire house. I said, all right, I need that, I need that, I need that. Okay, for this room, I need this, I need this, I need this. And for the living room, I want this. I want those two sofas over there. I want that coffee table there. I want a little brighter thing out over in the TV room area. I want that to be bright. I want that to have a little Tommy Bahama look with what that is, and some palm trees and stuff because it was Palm Springs. And now, as you, since you're here at my house, this is my office. So you can see I brought these two chairs, which are big leather chairs that are comfortable. And when I bought the house, I actually bought the house furnished. And so part of it was the fact that the furniture really, of course, you might like that view out there too. But these are, can you get this?
I sure can. Those look beautiful.
Okay, so now this is the lounge area where we have just an old table that's there for the banquet. And then we have, as you can see, the people here were the guy who owned this was about 6'5", and he had all fabric and everything else, designer. So, you know, it's perfect. It's comfortable. It's big. It's there's my ceiling up there.
That's beautiful. Wagon wheel look.
Yeah, well, so we got it, and then this the dining room. This is my dining room table. It may be a little dark, but you can see the chandelier. That's the deal. So I don't know. Some people call it a Mediterranean design outside, but for me, it's comfort. It's you know, at ease. I don't want to be stiff. I don't want people to be stiff. I want people to be comfortable when they come in, and I want them to go away feeling comfortable.
So you're a pretty definitive shopper. Sounds like you walked into that store and made some decisions. I want that, knew exactly what you wanted, not a lot of hemming and hawing.
No, it was within an hour. I would say within the hour, maybe hour and a half, that I actually bought the entire house. I know what I want, the creativity of it. I think I have creativity, and these were things that appealed to me, and I knew that they would fit in certain rooms and what we were really looking for. And the furniture was delivered on March 31st, and Justin was born on April 1st.
Wow, that's cutting it close.
What we do, if we have to do it. Of course, we had a late purchase of the house, so by the time it closed, it was just, we only had a few days to make it happen.
So you know what it's like to stand up there on a Hall of Fame stage and be recognized by your peers. What did that feel like for you? And what do you think the people who, when they get their awards, might be feeling?
Well, I think it'll be a different audience. You know, out there, you're standing there before your fans and everything else. Behind you are these guys who are got their watches on saying, how long are you going to speak? You know, and how you know, bombastic and how pompous are you going to be? Now, I think it's certainly, today it seems like more and more inductees are getting writers. You know, I know these guys are creators and creative, and they'll decide to write what took them on their journey. We don't need to know, you know, from birth to the deal, because, you know, the three keys in life of speaking is be good, be quick, be gone. But we want to make sure that all of these guys get their dues and everything else. And, you know, to stand before a lot of your friends, a lot of your competitors, this is going to be a different thing, because when you're standing on a Hall of Fame in baseball, you know, you got adoring fans out there, and these are people that came to honor you and everything else. Within this, it's a simple situation where basically you've got guys out there that you've dealt with all of your life, and you're doing stuff and everything else, and you know, you're still trying to make an impression. I mean, you have a standard about you, and so you're under a critique, I think, in a lot of ways. But the thing that you try to tell people is this is just a great moment in your life. Enjoy it. Don't worry about what's said, what's anything is. Just remember that you worked hard for this, and you're getting with some deserving honor that you should have had.
Now, the quality of wood matters a lot in furniture. I'm guessing the quality of wood matters a lot in a baseball bat. And as somebody with your hitting history, did you have a favorite bat, a favorite wood, or did you just grab whatever you had and took care of it?
Well, in our days, it was only ash. We only had ash. And you certainly look for grain. I mean, grain was always key, and it's still grain, you know, grain today in furniture, and grain to what you're doing and how you're looking at that, how it appeals to you. Narrow grain doesn't really appeal, because you know they could splinter very easily. But you want, you know, but bats were just produced. They're sent on the lays. They're come out of Louisville Slugger. There were some bats from the Rawlings, from Adirondack, But this was just ash, so I couldn't tell you whether the maple works any better. Some wood breaks very easily. Some wood is too expensive to use for batting. So bats. So that's why you see so many aluminum bats today, because wood has become so expensive to make for a baseball team, a college or high school, and they break so many of them. It really becomes expensive. And so, to me, ash always worked for me as far as bats are concerned.
Apparently it did. Well, listen, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you later in the week at High Point Market.
Oh, you're very kind. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, John. Take care.